Matt Magaw here with 330 to go high school football show. I have our coach from Wadsworth on here, Justin Todd. How are you doing tonight, coach?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good, good. So obviously getting prepared. Got a big game this week. You're going to be traveling out to take on Medina.
Yeah.
With that being said, week one, you take care of business with the school that's 6 miles from you, Barberton, with a nice 49-18 win. What was that like, coach, getting that win? And obviously first one coming in from the summer and kind of setting the tone for your season.
Well, it's always nice to win at home. And then when you're playing your rival, like you said, it's 6 miles away. I mean, our schools are, our lines cross. And so, I have a lot of respect for Barberton and Coach Gatto and the program that they run. They're always, a tough football team. And the amount of skill that they have is really, really good. So we were, and that happened. They got us on a couple big plays, but I thought our kids were really physical. I thought we ran the ball, and I thought we stopped the run really well. They tried to establish the run a little bit against us, and I think that we made a couple adjustments. Well, I know we made a couple adjustments, and I think it really worked in the second half, kind of shutting their run down. And again, what I liked was that their receivers made a couple big plays early in the game, and our corners kept battling. Right now we're down our number one corner, and then also a 3-year starter in the secondary. So our number one corner went down on the very first offensive play of that night. So he's a two-way player for us. He's just a sophomore, but he's really, really good. His name's Calix Lemp, and he played the first defensive series, and then we threw our first play of the game. We threw a little slip screen into the flat, and took it 10 yards and just got hit wrong and hurt his leg. So being without him, and then also, our a guy that's a 3-year starter for us, and Carson Bucks, who's unfortunately not going to be able to play this year because of an injury. It really tested some of our other corners, and I thought that they responded really well. I was proud of them after they gave up a few plays early. So think overall defensively, it was good. A lot of new faces. We had 7 to 8 senior starters last year on the defensive side of the ball. So we're playing a lot of new guys and in new spots. And so I've been pleased with the growth of the team that way. Offensively, obviously, we ran the ball pretty well. And I like the way that our offensive line is coming together. Again, another, losing a big piece of our offensive line in Aaron Reese. He actually tore his ACL last football season, wrestled all winter, found out afterwards. And I mean, that's a 3-year starter that you're down. So, but I really like the young guys and the way that they've stepped in and played. And so I think, it's starting to come together.
Absolutely. And obviously you've got the big 6'2" lineman working on over there for you, Evan Crowley. Crowley. I apologize again.
It's okay.
Butchering that. I do that quite often,
It's all right.
But obviously losing.
Evan's a 3-year starter. And we have another one in our center, John Byers, is also a 3-year starter. So, we came into the offseason thinking, man, we're going to have 3 guys with 3 years of starting experience, and we felt really good about that. But that's sports, right? That's life. That's football. You control what you can, and the guys that we've plugged in, I don't even like using the word plug in, because that would not. That would kind of not justify how well they've played, because they're good enough players, obviously, to play on Friday nights. And so the guys that we've moved into that spot have really rose to the occasion. So I'm pleased with the way our line's coming together.
Perfect. It definitely sounds like you're learning a lot about your team really quick. You pick up another big win in week 2. Take care of Worcester, 45-13. It seems to me I'm seeing a trend that it's that 40-point mark.
Gosh, yeah, we take that every night, right?
Yeah,
So Worcester, we've played them as a rivalry. We've played them over 50 times, which is kind of wild. Wadsworth and Worcester, and the 50th game, I believe, was in 2018. So we're a little over 50 right now. I'm not exactly sure what the record is, but it's unfortunate that rivalry's coming to an end. They've chose to move on and go play another who I don't know who they've picked up, but they didn't want to renew the contract, and disappointing. But I thought our kids did a nice job of putting putting an exclamation point at the end of the rivalry. Again, we were physical on both sides of the ball, eliminated big plays from them offensively, and so I was pleased with overall. There was about a 4-minute lull where we had a couple penalties that number one stopped 2 scores. Actually, we scored twice on it. We didn't score. We put the ball in the end zone twice, but we had penalties on both of them. And then defensively, they came back with a series, and we had a couple penalties on defense, pass interference, and I think, maybe an illegal hands in the face or something like that kept their drive going. And so outside of those 2 drives, I felt really great about how we played football that night. And we in order for us to be the team that we want to be, we can't have that lull in the game where we just shoot ourselves in the foot. And so the objective is, the score is irrelevant to me. Are we winning the game? Obviously is very relevant, but are we executing at our best level? And that's really what we focus on. To be honest with you, I don't know the score. I know it was a running clock. But I don't ever really look at scores. They're somewhat irrelevant. If it's 1-0 or 48-12, whatever the score is, I don't really care. I want to make sure that our team is getting better.
Yeah.
I want to, obviously it's better to learn and grow after a win. But for us, it's like, all right, well, we played really, really good outside of 2 series. So what can we do now to make sure that those 2 series don't happen? Because if they do, then we never maximize our potential as a football team. And that's our objective as a program, as a coaching staff, and our players buy into that as well.
Absolutely, Coach. That's perfect. Well, with that all being said, obviously gearing up for this week's big matchup. You guys are heading out to take on Medina. Last year, they got you twice, but your QB, Will Stack, he grew up tremendously in this game last year. So I can only imagine what he's kind of thinking going into this. It's got to be kind of a good feeling as a coach, knowing that he's seasoned in that aspect. What are you telling the rest of the team to eliminate that conversation from last year?
Well, we talk about this just being a great opportunity. It's make no mistake about it. I mean, Medina has established themselves as an offensive juggernaut, in the state of Ohio. The country. When your quarterback, when your quarterback 2 years ago, you can go bet on FanDuel whether he's going to win the Heisman or not.
Yeah.
And then Stoddard comes in and leads the nation in passing. And I say this to people all the time. Like, first of all, it's a fantastic offense. It's different. Obviously, it's very unique. They do an excellent job with it. Their staff is pretty tremendous. What has been most impressive, I mean, so obviously you have the Drew Aller, you have the Danny Stoddard, and those guys get a lot of the glory. But what I have really noticed is, my goodness, their wide receivers are just phenomenal. I mean, just absolutely
both have over 100 on the year. They both have over.
What's that?
They both have over 100 receiving, on the season. Knowles,
it's like
really nice.
They lose the guy that Schramm that's at Ohio State, and I hear they're pretty good at wide receiver. And then but then they've got the 2 guys with over 1,000 yards, Knowles and Wojak, I think is how you say his name. And it's like, all right, well, Schramm's gone, but then all of a sudden now they got 3 other guys that are just, they'd start for us, they'd start for any other team in our league. Like, they're just, they've really, culturally in their program, they've got the right mix because of the athletes that they have. I mean, I think Medina has always kind of been known, or previously had been known as a track school, and they've got great basketball, and now, they've brought it now to a football school, and they're getting those long track basketball athletes to come play. And it just seems like they just have a number of, 6'2", 6'3" kids. And then, if the kid's under 6 foot, that means he's running a 4.4. It's pretty wild. So, so yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity for our kids. We nobody's really figured out how to stop them. Even last week with Olentangy, as you watch the film, I mean, they had guys running wide open. There was a touchdown pass dropped early in the game. I mean, they had guys open, and it was one of those nights where not everything clicked. And I told our staff in our meetings, I said, look, we can't bank on the kid that led the country in throwing passing yards last year to have a night where he's not hitting kids that are open. Like, it's not that he was off. I mean, he still played great. But the guys that are running wide open, like, he's going to hit them Friday night. Like, we've got to know that. So, like, we have to take that into consideration that while they didn't score their normal amount, I mean, they had guys open,
Yeah.
and when you're that good at that offense, they're gonna make the adjustments and they're gonna fix that.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head for sure with all that. So going in, obviously, the game, you sound like you've had a couple of sleepless nights
Yeah,
getting there. So, and I appreciate, because that's what the grind's about.
sure.
As a coach, that's why you do it. I can only imagine, because would love to, but obviously not. I get the opportunity to interview you, so I'm living
Yeah.
vicariously
Well,
through
we'll
you.
switch this week.
Okay, all right, yeah, we'll do that. There you go. With that being said, what's some superstitions of yours before game day?
Mm.
I'm sure there's got to be one.
Um, well, I used to have, yeah, not real. I mean, I've got a Hulk Hogan shirt that I wear on Thursday nights. It's
All right.
Hulkamania, you know.
Okay.
Um, Try to wear it as often as I can, and it doesn't really fit anymore. um, but I still wear it. No, you know what? I don't really have. I'm very routine oriented, I would say. So, but I don't really have any superstitions. I know that that's not the answer. That's not a fun answer.
Oh,
Uh,
I was trying to give you something that's odd. I've been asking all the coaches
yeah,
that because
I don't know who all is going to see this. I used to have one, um, that I would, but it didn't work. So, so I kind of don't do that anymore.
fair enough.
I don't
Fair
know.
enough.
No, there's no routine. I mean, other than, um, I wish I had a good answer for you. I should probably get one.
No, no, coach. Maybe not having the superstition is the superstition. So you're
Well,
not letting
that's the
stuff
thing
get
is
to
like
you.
all
You're
well,
flowing.
okay, so here's one. It's not it is superstition. So I tell our coaching staff, if you're gonna wear shorts on game one, all right, then
Wow.
you have to wear shorts
The
for the
whole
rest of this, as
season.
long as we
The whole
keep winning.
season.
So, oh yeah, so back in 2018,
Wow.
we had won, I think we were at 12-1, 13-1. We played Massillon in the regional championship game, and I had coaches in shorts that night because we had went undefeated and it was a really, really cold night. The year before that, we were playing at Brunswick and against Olmsted Falls in the playoffs, and it was probably the coldest game I'd ever coached in. I was wearing snow pants, a snow jacket, gloves, and I was still shivering. I couldn't concentrate. And I had coaches in shorts because that's my rule. If you're going to wear shorts on week one and we
Wow.
keep winning, you got to wear shorts until, yeah. So, I
Anybody
wear
wear
pants.
shorts? Anybody
They
wear
do.
shorts?
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's so hot. I'm like, all right, that's great.
All right.
Might be
Hey,
hot right now. Wait till it's cold.
God bless them. God bless them.
Yeah.
I like that though. So as you guys are getting ready for that to the Wadsworth Grizzly Nation, what's a lasting thought you want to leave to all the Grizzly fans getting ready for this Friday?
Yeah. So our fan support is pretty impressive. We play in what I think is a premier stadium in Northeast Ohio. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Um, and our band, our student section is really, really rowdy and loud. Last year when we played in the playoffs up against Medina, I mean that it was packed and the crowd was just phenomenal. They're so supportive of their kids. That's probably the thing that I admire most about our community is just how supportive they are. We're talking about football right now, so of the football program, but really just of their kids, of the school in general. They show up in droves, and they really they really just like pour their heart and soul into our kids, and they support them, and as long as our kids are representing them the right way, but with great effort and attitude and the toughness and all those things, I think our fans are just appreciative that young people are doing something extra, because we know that there's a lot of things that are wrong that they could be doing. But that they're doing things the right way, and they're giving back to their school and their community and representing, and that's really a special thing. So we'd love to have as many people there as possible. It should be an exciting game. I mean, I know, we feel confident. We know that we've got a huge challenge ahead of us, but that's why you play the game, and it's a great opportunity for our kids in our program to go play an elite team. And they're how do you stop them? We don't really know yet. We're going to try to throw a couple things and find out.
No, Coach. I mean, you've been there for 11 seasons. You're doing a phenomenal job out there. Just from what the following that I've seen.
Have I been here 11?
I thought it was 11.
I've been
right?
Head coach for 11 seasons.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what I'm
okay.
like. Whoa, wait a second. We're okay.
I was gonna say I can butcher people's names and completely get their
dates. That's okay.
wrong at all times.
That's all right.
I'm just making stuff up as I go. Just
let it roll. Yeah, I'm good.
Exactly. You got to fly with it. But no, Coach, we wish you nothing but the best this Friday.
Appreciate that.
Really appreciate you taking time out to be able to chat with us and give us some phenomenal answers. I like the shorts thing. I might make it a point to make sure that I show up like maybe week 9, 10 in shorts and just.
I'd love it. That'd be great.
That'd be great. From the stands, but appreciate that again. Best of luck this Friday.
Thank you.
This is 330 to go high school football show, and this was interview with Coach Todd from the Wadsworth Grizzlies. Thanks a lot, Coach.